Yeah, Kron doing good today? Oh, that's good. Yeah, Roku gapped up on earnings too. Roku doing okay. I'm trying to see if my volume aggregation tool can give me any kind of hint on a potential short that I'm looking at. The market's been kind of floating up. I'm on the Qs right here, getting floating up. See the lower volume, the buying pressure really low on the VA tool. Here as well, it's not as low. And here's that prior dump, that first bigger one. That was that first large uptrend. Interesting, buying pressure remained elevated. And right now we have like no buying pressure. At least according to the Qs here. There's see I think it was NQ1. A little different for NQ1. That's what I'm looking at here. Yeah, so buying was a little bit elevated here, just like it is over here. And it's just like it was over here. Very elevated. Almost at that 200 day. We're almost at the 200 period moving average for the 2 hour. Um, hmm. See momentum waning a little bit here. Popped up. It's going flat right now. Could break up though. And there's the open. So we could be at a junction where we could start to sell off from here. Gold's actually flat this morning. MJ 2.32% is pretty good. Oh, a little gap up today. Ooh, getting interesting. So I mentioned Cron. We'll take a look at Cron. Little mini gap up. CGC. Tilray. Not much going on there. Carvana, good earnings today. Yep. Market's a little weird right now. And so Cyber had earnings and dumped a little bit. Twilio gap down. Disney down and up today. Yesterday was almost like a coiling pattern, very similar. Man, Anik has just been rock solid. Just a huge mover. If I'd be buying anything, it'd probably be Anik. So market yet with a follow-through day, yet to have a follow-through day, I should say. The volume yesterday was still pretty big, at least on the futures. Yeah, growth stock shine is IBD's headline yesterday. So, doesn't show a chart, unfortunately, with the volume on it. They used to. Stock market data. I would like a chart. Okay, so there's a SPY. There's the NASDAQ. So volume yesterday, not quite like ONDQC. NDQ. Why can't I get this frickin' chart? NDQ, NASDAQ 100 index. Won't give me volume though, probably. Or anything. Won't give me anything. Alright, just have to do my own thing here. Alright, Anik popping up a little bit. I'm going to try to line up an Anik trade. See if there's anything worthwhile here. As it looks like it's starting to run up a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't fail if I do take a trade. That measured move puts you up to 73. That's about 30%. Well, that seems aggressive. Be aggressive. Be aggressive. Yeah, that's what that is. That's aggressive. High 69. I don't know. That seems like a lot. It is a lot. Crazy percentage gains if that actually happens. It only goes to 80. Okay. Maybe we can use that measured move to temper expectations a little bit. That's a little better. 65 and 43 days. That seems realistic from this chart structure. Is it actually starting to break out a little bit? Volume's only 2,200. Not very heavy. NASDAQ seems to be very stagnant up here. If you remember, I was looking to get into a short as it rallied up, thinking I'd play a leg lower. And it's definitely had a couple of days to rally higher. A nice turnaround day yesterday. Okay, the rise came in some pretty good volume there. That's some nice volume in the morning. And pretty decent volume in the afternoon too. It's pretty good. And rocking a little bit higher. It's a low float. Yeah, it's pretty low float. It's moving though. It wants to do something. Doesn't have a ton of volume, but it's obviously perking up. Look at that in the 5 minutes, just taking chunks at it. What's my level 2 look like? Got about a... Wow, it took a... Ask is at 35. This thing's rocking. I'll try some Manic. Oh, massive spread on options. Crazy massive spread on options. That's dangerous. $185 to $245. Holy crap. That's too much. Let's put a limit order on this thing just to... Came a little closer. Carvana, EPAM, Funco. Some of these growth stocks are doing pretty good. Market's still okay. Oh, damn, just gapped up right there. 57.44. Looks like I'm not getting filled. That's a gap up intraday. That's because it's such a low float. It's actually very dangerous. $57, $65, and $25. So they got that's a wide spread. All right, NASDAQ 0.5%. GLD's kind of flat here. Not doing too bad. I don't mind MJ gapping up a little bit. That shows a little bit of bullishness. Selling off, though. Failure to get over the trend line so far. We'll see what happens with that guy. Yeah, what happened to Match? So Match gapped up yesterday during the correction and rolling in. What else gapped up yesterday? A few things that gapped up yesterday. You have Carvana gapping up today a little bit. EPAM on earnings. Just a little bit. Anik up. Anik looks like it's going to get going. Atlassian looks pretty good, actually. Kind of a very small double bottom pattern here. It's not even a real one. It's just a mini guy. But good volume yesterday stepping in. Twilio gapped lower. Cyber gapped lower. Shop with a big pop up. Grifols. Yeti didn't do much on earnings. ASNT. Man, CMG. Super. This one's this one's good, man. Look how nice and tight that's been. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days ago, market started taking a crap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days ago, and we're basically even. That's a lot of strength for Chipotle. The burrito is strong. The burrito is strong. Oh, there you go. DR Horton. Looks like it's breaking out. Someone mentioned an inverted head and shoulders in DR Horton. Looks like that's starting to work. Pretty good volumes on the right side, too, after earnings. Looks like about a week ago. Today, trying to get some further upside. So we're having some secular movements. Or secular for sector. I'm not sure if that works. But we're having different, a couple sectors. Looks like are still fairly healthy. Home builders, probably with interest rates bouncing there. Amazon off the 50-day moving average could be interesting. Square undercutting the 50-day here. Just blowing it apart. Take two interactive. That's still going. BLD, this one looking pretty good too. This one going into all-time highs, breaking out of a flat base right here. Barely out of a buy range, 5.64%. .36% to be slightly more accurate. So it had earnings a few days ago, pretty sideways with the market action. So some stocks are able to get up. The question is, can they hold? and then continue to rally. I mean, it's kind of a couple questions mixed in there. So far, we don't have markets still in a confirmed, still in a correction. Tomorrow's the first day we can get into a confirmed uptrend. We'd have to have a pretty low volume day today, in my opinion. And tomorrow's Friday, so without any kind of major macro shifts, I don't know. I'm not sure if the market's going to be able to pull out. Really, China's, I mean, unless the Fed just steps in, which I don't know why they would. They just cut rates, made a statement. So I don't know why they would step in at this point. But I still like the MJ play for much longer term. I mean, we're down at stupid lows for these things. Could go a little bit lower. Some of these are still overvalued if you look at any metrics. Let's look at Finviz for a few of these, just some individual names. So we mentioned yesterday Tilray. So 3.8 billion market cap. EPS this year is negative 859%. EPS next year says 56%, which is good. Sales quarter over quarter at 200%, which is excellent. So I'm looking right here. So there's your market cap, 3 billion. Definitely better. I think it was like 4 times higher than that, 8 times higher than that. Like a 15 billion valuation on this thing with no earnings. 313 employees. Return on equity of negative 46%, gross margin 27%, which is pretty good. We'll look at CGC. 1.31 billion valuation. Employees 3,200. What the heck is that? How do you have 3,200 employees? Sales are 312%. Not reporting much over here. You don't get a lot out of this company, it looks like. Oh yeah, shares float. Short ratio is 8.59. So that's 8 days to cover. What's the Trying to find that list. No, that was Bridgewater Associate list. Oh, you know what? It's in my thing. There we go. Cron's another one. Cron's a big one, down 4% today. 2 billion market cap. Insider ownership is 48%. That's significant. 291 employees seems a little more realistic. Price to book is 15, which is normal. Doesn't tell you short shares floated for some reason. Short ratio 7.74, so a little more floated. For a reference, Tesla, I think it's like the short ratio is like 3 days or something like that. 4 days for Tesla short. Tilray's starting to give some up here. So let's go through these MJ stocks real quick. Nothing outrageous going on here. Yeah, not much. Potential super stocks. ATEC moving. Oh, looks like it moved out of the base a little bit ago. MOBL, not so much. Wrecker, pretty flat right here, right near all-time highs, so not bad. Tilra failed breakout. INSG failed breakout. All right, Carvana. Let's go back to Anik. Anik. All right, selling off. I put an order in and I canceled it after I saw the order book was crazy. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to be involved in this thing. I mean, it looks good though. I could go in just lighter, but I don't know, the whole market being in a correction thing. But it is a very low float stock. You saw in the order book, I mean, you got 50-cent spreads, which is insane. 34 cents right now, which is still insane. Way, way too much. But Equalis looks like it's bouncing out of a low area after earnings. I wouldn't mind taking a flyer on Qualis. Looks like good earnings, 55 cents. Beat earnings. I'm not too mad at that. 731. So they announced here, so this was the next day. Yeah, that may not be too bad. Just to get up to 98 would be a pretty good trade here for this one. Of course, it's got to get past 90 first. Let's look at that one. I think this is boredom trading for me. That's what it sounds like. Sounds like boredom trading. Market's in a correction, nothing to do. Why am I looking at options? Yeah, we definitely would have to, like I said, we'd have to have a pretty high volume day tomorrow and a low volume day today for us to go back into an uptrend. But some of these stocks are showing some early buying activity, that's for sure. LK is not doing too bad. An update, not quite breaking the trend, but looks like it's attempting it. LVGO. I'll leave you up there for a little bit. Not for too long, though. Like I said, Atlassian's good. HEI. Look at that. Right back to highs. My goodness. The relative strength is strong with this one. Just had a test of the 50-day moving average. And look at that. Bounce right off it. No hesitation. Zero hesitation. Probably didn't even quite get to it. And then just jumped right back into highs. Kind of looks like a channel. Very, very strong stock. Extraordinarily strong stock. IBD just did an article on them. I'm not sure if that's good or bad. Some argue that's bad. Take two, Intuit, Sherman-Williams, Square. Oh, man. I did something to my ankle. I don't know what. I don't know, does tightness in your ankle mean wolf bite stuff getting to you? See, I'm not too mad at Amazon. I don't mind it here off the 50-day. Oh, that's 200-day. Ew. Still could work. About 3% lower. That's not too bad. Looks like it has some overnight down about 5.25%. Gold floundering about a little bit here. Did sell off a little bit yesterday towards the end of the day there. Pretty good volumes, too. There was a nice big drop here and a nice big drop here. Gold has quite a bit of runway. You can see it's above my new trend line there. We got up to about midway. So nothing doing. NASDAQ 0.84%, finally getting some momentum today. ANIC, not really stabilizing, but kind of stabilizing. So not much to do today. I still kind of think shorting the market could be in order, although we do have quite a few stocks bouncing, which isn't uncommon. Although then you see Match like having a great day yesterday and then giving up quite a bit today. But that could happen in any market. That's nothing special about this market. We saw that just before we started the correction there a little bit. Beyond Meat, what are you doing? Okay, so Beyond Meat broke support there. And some elevated selling candles stepping in. And this one could be done for a while, sitting on the 200 period moving average. Overstock still hanging around. GH was one of the ones that gapped up yesterday. GH apparently stands for gap higher. Nice pop up. And pretty sideways action so far. I think my kids are doing emojis to me. .9 for the NASDAQ. Looks like it's getting a little froggy. Getting back up to where we broke down the other day. $77.04. Another 80 points or so. What was that 10-year doing? $7.6. Oh, there we go. Almost 1% on the NASDAQ. How's our volume doing? I already mentioned we had quite a bit down lower here. We mentioned the overnight session they were kind of playing with it. I wonder if that was just to scare people. I'm not sure. They can go either direction. The intraday action this day, this first day, was pretty minimal. If you go to the Qs, today will probably be one of the widest bar days we get. And it looks like we're filling that gap. No, yesterday was a wide bar. So we're filling the gap. We'll see if that could lead to us failing out of this. I still feel like the market has a little bit more movement in it. 50-day period moving average is right here. But our volume's already pretty low on the Qs this morning. So I would actually argue this probably is a pretty decent shorting area. The question is, where would your stop loss be if you were to put a short on? I'd probably use the SQQQ as my vehicle. And ideally, you know, we don't have too big of a loss. I don't know. I would have to see the market probably turn, then I would jump in. I don't want to be risking too much. My gains are really nice from the uptrend. I'm in a good spot. I feel like taking that trade probably would be greedy unless I see something that just screams to me. I may not trade. And if we go into a uptrend, I'll just jump back in. Is what it is. I think that's probably what's going to end up happening. So, all right, guys. Well, I'm going to get out of here for now. So I'll see you guys tomorrow on Friday later in the Power Hour if you're part of that. Yeah, let's let the market be for right now. If I do see a reversal, I probably will be pretty quick to jump in with a short. But at this point in time, I don't want to front run it. You know, this market looks like it has a little bit of legs. We got some nice gaps. Some things are sustaining. Other things are just trading normally. So we'll see what happens. But I'm going to get out of here, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one.